let's move on. Now, today, I'm sure you might have witnessed the transition of lighting industry. So we used to have filament lamp once upon a time. Before that, Thomas Alva Edison has invented the lamp, and then it could convert into a filament lamp. And then we landed up in an era where energy efficient CFL lamps and T5 lamps were there, induction lamps were there. And now we stand at an era where LED take the lead. LED is nothing but light emitting diode. So you could see two images over here. I'm not getting into the deep technical part of it, but still you could see two images over here. The LED era is ruled by these two champions. One is SMD chip, which is surface mounted device chip, and the other one is COB. COB stands for chip on board. So these are the two components which gives us the light and which is the major light source in this LED era. Why people started accepting LED in a big way? If you look at today's world, LED is everywhere. Everywhere LED is there, and LED is well accepted. Why people started accepting LED without showing any resistance was its flexibility. We all know that lamp used to be in one particular shape, and our tube light used to be with limited linear length. And there are a lot of limitations for the flexibility. Now with LED in place, the users are getting a lot of flexibility. You can take it to the kilometers and kilometers in one length. You can make the LED luminous in various shapes. You can bend it, you can take linear, cross section, whatever way you want to do. It's very, very flexible. LED is very, very flexible. And the second part is energy saving. It's giving almost, compared to the traditional CFL and fluorescent tube light, it's giving almost 55 to 60% energy saving with high efficacy LED chip in place. So this was another reason why people started accepting LED. And of course, LED is controllable also. What do you mean by controllable? So you can either dim it and you can bright up, you can have communications, you can control it the way you want. The reason for people to accept LED as a light source was, I believe, these are the three major reasons. It is LED is always flexible, LED is energy saving, and LED is controllable. There come the challenges. There comes the challenges. With the traditional LED luminaires, people started getting a lot of challenges. The first thing I could highlight is the high glare. I've seen in industries where workstations are badly affected because of the high glare coming from the highways and the other luminaires installed overhead. And people are really suffering. And unknowingly, very few people know about this issue of glare. Once you get the glare on the eyes of the workers, the productivity will drastically come down. Their wellness will get affected. And the second thing is flickering. Flickering of, challenges in traditional LED lighting is flickering. Sometimes, you can see if you face your mobile camera on a normal traditional LED luminaire, you can see the flickering on that camera. And if you are using CCTVs, if you are delivering a webinar under traditional LED lighting, you could even see the grains coming on the screen. So flickering was a major issue which was always affecting the brain and thought process of human being working under that light. Color shifting is another issue. If you go to an industry or an office or a retail showroom where hundreds of lights are installed in parallel, you could see various colors on that lights. It's because of color shifting. People have not taken this subject seriously in traditional LED lighting, and there are a lot of issues of color shifting. You might have even observed lumen depreciation. What is lumen depreciation? Today, when you install a luminaire, you will get certain illumination level, and after certain period, maybe another 6 months, 8 months, a year, the lights drastically come down because of some reason. We'll address this because of some reason. So this lumen depreciation is affecting. And unfortunately, the user will never come to know, because user become immune to that lumen depreciation. So they started, their body and mind start accepting that depreciation. And then unless a third person come into his room and then say, hey, come on, you are sitting in a very dull lighting. So then only he may realize it, he or she may realize it. And the next thing was light pollution. If you look at the sky, you know, there is a study which says after LED comes in, you know, day by day, the brightness of sky is getting increased because light is throwing everywhere. Is not clearly defined for the intended purpose of illumination. Instead, people have simply used some lens or not using lens, and light is going everywhere. Moreover, there are lighting fixtures which is used for more than required because the light is getting wasted. There was no planning in terms of beam angle. There was no planning in terms of dialects design or anything. So there are a lot of light pollutions happening after this traditional LED in place. And failures, you know, I met so many users of traditional LED lighting. Still they are paying cost for that. But, you know, the lot of failures happening. There are a few hospitals which I have seen, you know, even after buying luminaires from brands, you know, they always think that, you know, if some brand is specified, the products will be better. It's not. We'll discuss that case. So a lot of failures they are facing. So these are the challenges, my dear friends, the challenges in traditional LED lighting. Flicker and, you know, glare, color shift, lumen depreciation, light pollution, failures, and all. Why it is happening? It's happening because of the L1 trap. It's happening because of the L1 trap. L1 is the lowest priced product. So there was a time when a lot of manufacturers used to bring in LEDs to the customers and the users, and always, whether it is a corporate, whether it is a homemaker, whether it is an office, when the Indian go to the purchaser, he used to see only one thing: 20-watt luminaire, L1, 150-watt high bay, L1. So that was the only consideration. And ultimately, the user, L1 means the lowest quote which he has received. Instead of looking at the in-depth specification for the intended application, people started buying it at L1 price. And today, they are paying a huge cost in terms of these challenges. Users are facing these challenges. And unfortunately, after buying it, you know, they can't replace the luminaire even after knowing these challenges in place. So it's really a trap. So my dear friends, just going by the L1 price is really a trap where the user is going to pay huge cost. Instead, we should understand the price versus value. The value for the intended application. We will address that. Now, before we move on, I would like to show you the anatomy of LED luminaires. So you could see two images over here. One image is of COB downlight, and the other image is of high bay. You know, you take any luminaire. I just put two luminaires for the representation purpose. But you take any luminaire, whether it is a linear profile, a shape, or a street light, or a pendant light, or a landscape light, or any luminaire, all the luminaires are having similar anatomy in terms of component placing. So you could see four different components which consist of a complete luminaire. One is the housing. Every luminaire is having a housing. And you know, the major, the LED in LED luminaires, the housing itself is used as a heat sink. Why heat sink? Because LED, when the electrical energy is converted into light energy, LED produce a lot of heat which needs to be dissipated clearly. Otherwise, there will be a cause of lumen depreciation, there will be a cause of failure, there will be a cause of chromaticity difference and color shifting. A lot of things can happen. So housing itself is the heat sink for a luminaire. Now, the second major component is an LED driver. Why LED driver is required? Because the you know, SMDs and COBs, the LED works on DC current and DC voltage, whereas what we get from the line 230 volt AC. So there should be a device which is an LED driver which convert AC 230 volt into DC defined volt and current. So every luminaire is having an LED driver. And there comes the third part, which is a light engine. What is a light engine? This is a light source where LED SMTs or COBs, COB is being put directly into the heat sink, or SMT is being populated on a PCB, printed circuit board. It could be an FR PCB or it could be an aluminum PCB, but LEDs are populated on that. So that entire module is called light engine. So every luminaire is having a light engine. And the last thing, which is most important, is the optics. Every luminaire must have an optics. What is optic? If you see a small downlighter, or if you see a 2x2 luminaire, so after LED, there is a diffuser. So a diffuser could be an optic. And there could be in COB luminaire, you might have seen the reflectors just to cut the glare and direct the light towards the intended area. And there are lenses you might have seen in highways and street lights and all other luminaires. There are lenses which 60 degree, 90 degree, 120 degree, dual angle, and type 1, type 2. So there are a lot of type of lenses also to use, because LED as it is giving 120 degree light angle, beam angle. The bare LED is normally giving a 120 degree beam angle. You need to have lenses to direct the light from 120 to some other angles for the intended application. So my dear friends, the reason for mentioning this anatomy of LED luminaire is why the traditional LED manufacturers landed in trouble, or why the traditional LED users landed up in trouble, is because when the manufacturing of LED is being started, it was simply a dumb luminaire. People started making it with the available drivers, with the available light engine, with the available efficacy, and with the available LED drivers. So most of the manufacturers were simply assemblers. There was no research and development, which is mainly happening in India. Instead, it was just an assembly happening in most of the organized as well as unorganized manufacturing sectors. Now, the LED luminaire as it is was dumb, and there was a lot of L1 pressure among the manufacturers. Hey, you need to meet this price because I'm going to buy a few thousands. You need to meet this price because I'm going to issue a tender for a few millions of street light. So people started going for cutting corners instead of going for a value engineering. So they went for a cost reduction in driver. They went for a cost reduction in heat sink. Let me tell you, I had an opportunity to get a few failed street lights of some manufacturers from Energy Efficiency Service Limited, EESL, few years back, when they faced more than 50% failures from one of the side. So when I have seen the luminaire, it was a shock of my life. I've seen one of the reputed manufacturer who used a 15-watt thermal street light for making a 36-watt street light. What might have made him doing that? Because the thermal stability was not at all there. They might have simply, I assume, they might have simply did it just to meet the price. So that's called cutting corners. And finally, the user has to, pay the cost. Now, the era of dumb luminaires is almost over. Of course, there might be some unorganized sector still manufacturing dumb luminaires, but now the dumb luminaires is giving place to efficient luminaires. Efficient luminaires. I'll explain how the efficient luminaires are made. Efficient luminaires are made by managing all these four components in a better way. I'll come to that point. And most of the reputed designers and brands and manufacturers, they are not stopping at efficient. So we stand at smart and intelligent era. So it was dumb first, just, you just turn off and the light will give certain amount of light with the pollutions, with the glare and with flickering and everything. That was dumb luminaire era. Now it is efficient and then smart and intelligent. So there are good technology people like us already dealing with intelligent and smart luminaires after crossing that efficient era. And few people are still working under efficient LED luminaires. But the time is moving and you could see the road is moving towards efficient, smart, and intelligent. Now, let's see how you can make a dumb luminaire into an efficient luminaire. It's nothing working on your LED driver, optics, housing, and light engine. What you can do and making the luminaire application-based luminaire. See, this is another major important point why the luminaire should be application-based. You can't simply buy a downlight and then put it everywhere. You can't simply buy a 2x2 and put it across your office. You can't buy a highway and put it across your plant. It should be purely application based. So if you want to make an application based efficient luminaire, the first thing you should work is on drivers, LED drivers. What drivers can make a difference in the luminaire? I'm not talking about the manufacturers. You could see a lot of driver manufacturers. Many brands are making it in-house, and you could see, Fulham, Philips, Ostrom, Inventronics leading the show in on-off drivers, just on-off drivers, and there are many unorganized manufacturers as well. Now, it's not the brand. It's not the brand. When you select the LED driver, it should be application-based LED driver selection. So the parameters should meet the application. For example, I will tell you, if you are designing a senior executive's office who is a major decision maker and his creativity affect the decision, then you can't give a flickering luminaire on his above his head, because it's going to affect his brain and the frustrations are going to build up. His creativity may get affected. So you need to have a ripple-free driver for your efficient luminaire design. You must know which driver is giving that zero ripple or maybe lower ripple to get a zero flicker stage. You need to address the difference in isolated and non-isolated driver. You need to address the difference in ported and unported driver. You need to address the difference of over voltage protection and over voltage application. Both are different, OVA and OVP. You need to address thermal protection and thermal foldback. You need to address the TC point, because there was a time when we used to design the LED driver considering an ambient temperature of India's ambient temperature of 38 degree. But now that is not the scenario. If you go to Jaipur after a few days, you could see 48 degree already running there, or 46 degree already running there. And if you get into a warehouse, it must be more than that, because the asbestos sheet and metal sheets and all creating a lot of heat. Now the design should be capable of addressing this thermal, the TC points and ambient temperature working, thermal stability. So my dear friends, an efficient luminaire design. So what we do in terms of luminaire design, we consider the application first. That's the reason there are a lot of discussions going on between the user and us when we get into a project with corporates or any such buyers. So once you understand the application, you can give the correct LED driver for that internet application. It's not the wattage, it's not the brand, it's the parameters which is meeting the application requirement. And there comes the optics. What change an optic can do in an efficient luminaire? UGR, unified glare ratio. My dear friends, just by paying few additional rupees, you can get a lower UGR diffuser. It means the glare will be very, very low. So you should look at the application. And when you select the reflector, the optics, the reflector, there is a viewing angle from the human eye. If the luminaires are installed at a height of 3 meters, there is a clear-cut viewing angle, whether it is 30 degree or 32 degree or 35 degree. So when you use the reflector you should use the reflector in such a way that the glare is getting cut. It's not directly reaching to the human eyes. All these parameters make a lot of difference. And then comes the housing, like I rightly mentioned in previous slide. You can't compromise on the housing size. I have seen these days, the housing size is getting narrow, which is affecting the thermal management of a luminaire. When we go to a housing manufacturer for our luminaire design, we always ask, what is the maximum temperature it can afford, or then we bring it to the lab and then see, what is the maximum wattage this luminaire can afford. Sometimes, by reducing the size, you may be compromising on the thermal management, thus getting into the challenge of lumen depreciation and junction temperature increase and all these things. Light engine, the color shifting, is mainly because of the selection of your LED chip and COBs. In LED chip, there is a term called SDCM, Standard Deviation in Color Management. So when you select the LED, so you should get into a lower SDCM, which is 3 SDCM. If you are working on an indoor, linear lighting, or n number of lights are installed. So I'm not getting into the deep technical of it, but my dear friends, an efficient luminaire design includes application-based luminaire, which is application-based luminaire design, which includes right selection of LED driver, optics, housing, and light engine. So this is where the efficiency comes in, and this is where you are reducing all those challenges of glare, flicker, and failures and light pollutions and everything. Because in optics, if you are getting into the right beam angle design, your light pollution also could be managed. Now, we discussed about LED era, and we discussed where the trend is going. The trend is going from dumb luminaires to efficient luminaire to smart and intelligent luminaires. Now, I would like to address a little bit about that smart and intelligent luminaire, because the current era is, if you look at a premium architect, if you look at a premium consultant, they all are specifying smart and intelligent luminaires and its solutions in their project. Corporates, most of the bigger corporates are looking into carbon neutral, sustainability, energy saving, and everything. So there is only one way. They can't go for a dumb luminaire or efficient luminaire. Instead, they should go for a smart and intelligent luminaire with its solutions. It's not as a commodity. Instead, they should go as a solution. So, okay. So you could see two phrases here: smart luminaires and intelligent luminaire. What is the difference between these two? Sometimes people get confused. What is smart luminaire and what is intelligent luminaire? So let me explain it. Let me give you a very, very, simple clarity. Smart luminaires, we discussed about controllable. LED is flexible, LED is having energy saving, LED is controllable. So smart luminaires are those luminaires which always need a command to perform. I repeat, smart luminaires are those luminaires which always need a command to perform. For example, there is a dimmable luminaire, but it always need a command from a controller, or always it need a command from a switch, scene controller. It always need a command from a mobile app. All those luminaires are classified under smart luminaires. Then what is intelligent luminaires? Intelligent luminaires doesn't need a command from a human, or doesn't need a command from anybody, not from the mobile app or push buttons or anything. The intelligent luminaires will perform by self. The intelligent luminaires will perform by self. Whether it is a dimming, whether it is a color changing, whether it is a switching on off, whether sending data, receiving data, the intelligent luminaire will perform by self. So the difference between smart luminaires and intelligent luminaires are: smart luminaires need input command, and intelligent luminaires perform by self. So the current era is of smart luminaires and intelligent luminaires. So now we are going to address how you can make an intelligent luminaire, or how we are making intelligent luminaires and getting into the intelligent solutions. Before that, because I could see many corporate users are listening to me, and many architects are there in this participants. So I just want to address certain things in terms of smart and luminaire, intelligent luminaires, applications and benefit. Let's see, we are talking about everybody is now looking at smart and intelligent luminaires instead of dumb luminaires. Now, what is the application? So you take the case of an office. If you are a designer, please pay attention. If you are a user, please pay attention. If you are a reseller who is selling to office and other such areas, please pay attention. In the case of an office, you can use intelligent and smart luminaires for getting demand-driven hygiene switching. What is demand-driven hygiene switching? It means the luminaire will consume energy only when it is demanded for. You can have daylight harvesting. What does the daylight harvesting mean? Is like, you could see this office, there is a glass facade, a lot of daylight is coming in. You don't need this light, this artificial light to be on, because it automatically either dim or switch off. That's called daylight harvesting. You can have orientation lighting. What is orientation lighting? There are certain areas in an office where, even after incorporating a sensor, on-off sensor and all, you don't need darkness. So you need to have a orientation lighting there. It means you need to have a lower intensity light and reduce the power consumption. So there is orientation lighting solution. All these solutions are the one which we have already incorporated in many of the offices. So that's the reason, you could see that confident when we talk about each and every solution. After showing this application and benefit, we will get into the part how this intelligent and smart luminaires are made and how it is combined with some sensors and some controllers to make it a solution. So meeting room management is another area where an office can get a smart and intelligent luminaires. Lighting management system, which means your entire office could bring into a single dashboard and then get monitoring, control, scheduling, everything. Boardroom light conditioning. Have you ever heard about the term LC? I'm sure you all must be knowing about AC. What is AC? AC is air conditioning. Have you ever seen LC? LC is light conditioning. It's very, very important. Very, very important. So there are two terms, which is biological effective lighting, BEL, and emotional effective lighting. And when you combine both the things, the new term will come in, which is human-centric lighting, which is having many considerations and parameters in that. But most of the boardroom projects, what we did is with light conditioning, which is a type of recreating sunlight inside the room without having a window. It's through automation and smart and intelligent luminaires under power over Ethernet and all. Now, what is the benefit if your office project is having all this type of application? The benefit is huge amount of energy saving, higher productivity, of course, because just imagine a boardroom board of directors, they are meeting together on a strategy meet and they are working, getting the sunlight like light from morning to evening. And what a fantastic environment and ambience where they get their higher productivity. Employees, wellness, safety, easy payback. So all the applications what we are going to discuss now is not something which is fetching capital investment. Of course, it's a capital investment, but the investments are coming in terms of payback, coming back to us in terms of payback, because every smart and intelligent application is having energy saving. And the next benefit is control and monitoring benefit. And of course, modern office ambience. If somebody get into your office, wow, that wow feeling is there. Color is managed, light color is managed, light intensity is managed, demand-driven switching is happening, hygiene switching is happening, meeting room is managed just by one remote because there is a sensor to control the smart and intelligent luminaire. So that wow feeling is something which make an office modern office ambience. Now, look at the industries. Huge potential. We have a mastery in managing industrial lighting and sustainability. We did it for many corporates. I'll show you hundreds of corporates, I would say. I'll show you what we did with these corporates. Now, in an industry, what smart and intelligent option we can do or you can do is high bay lighting management. So, okay, I have something over here. I don't know whether you are able to see this. Look at this. Look at this. This is a high bay which automatically do daylight harvesting and save a lot of energy. And this is an intelligent high bay. This automatically do daylight harvesting and save energy. When we did a calculation for a corporate, the normal high bay and installing intelligent high bay with the daylight harvesting, they were paying 22,000 rupees more for a high bay in 5 years, because this automatically reduce power consumption and give payback and energy saving. So these type of intelligent luminaire system can come when you go for a high bay lighting management. There are specialty lighting for assembly line, paint shop, and inspection area. I should appreciate in some of the corporates when we discuss, they are very concerned in terms of the inspection area and painting area, mainly in automobile industry. So we could create scenarios like, if a paint shop is there, when based on the body color of the vehicle, we can change the lighting system automatically. It's something great which industries are looking for. This will happen only and only with smart and intelligent luminaires. So it's hard time, it's time where we should seriously think about making smart and intelligent luminaires. VZ room management, video conference room management, flickerless lights and low UGR lights and color changing based on the skin tone of the speaker. This is something new, right? The skin based on the skin tone of the speaker, you can adjust the color and intensity of the light so that you look good on your screen and then talk to your team and talk to your partners. So VC room lighting management is something which we do very precisely. Outdoor lighting management, most of these industries are having acres and acres of land where a lot of street lights are there. 24 hours, 12 hours, entire night, the street lights are on and a lot of energy is being consumed. We have something for outdoor lighting management, which when I'm saying we have, why we are already doing that. We did it for many corporate. My intention is not to say that, we are the only one who is doing it. My intention is to tell you the era is of smart and intelligent luminaires. And fire escape lighting is something which is unique for a industry. It means you don't need to have an inverter or anything. If your luminaire is smart luminaire, this will have an inbuilt battery with the driver and a DC driver. So when the power goes off, the luminaire sense it and glow for next 90 minutes and 180 minutes, so that the escape route is very clearly mentioned. This is another area which an industry could do with the intelligent luminaires. Plus, whatever we are discussed for the office area application is also applicable for the industry. Warehouses is one of the major area where lighting is consuming a lot of power. Because if you look at the industry, there are chiller plant, there are motors, there are many electrical devices which consume a lot of energy, and lighting is hardly 6 to 8% of their total energy consumption. But when you look at a warehouse, the major OPEX is their lighting energy, and they are spending huge amount of money for lighting. Look at the shelves area, 100%, 24 hours the lights are on. We have even, testimonies came from warehouse users, 71% saving just by using that intelligent and smart controls in a shelving area. There's a huge amount of saving. But why we are mentioning all these things? Because people are still unaware about the benefit and payback of the smart and intelligent luminaire, because there are so-called, approved make which has done years back, and there are so-called, copy paste tender specs, and there are so-called regular buying where people are not aware about the technology changes which has happened in the industry. And it's a proud moment for us because we are having a mastery in warehouses. I will show you the slide where we could cover majority of the warehouse players in India, giving them this awareness and solutions implemented. Now, classrooms, institutions, what smart lighting and intelligent lighting is going to make a difference in an institution. Again, please pay attention if you are a designer. Please pay attention if you are a reseller. Please pay attention if you are a user of light. So the point is, please pay attention if you are a designer of product. Now, the point is, if we have done IAM classroom. Why, in every slide, I'm giving some case studies. You will get an idea, you can visualize what is happening. We have done IAM classrooms where, just by using one remote like this, the professor is giving, lectures as well as some presentation on the screen. 2 scenes managed by smart lighting and just one remote. This is the control device which he is using in IAM classroom. Just scene number 1 and scene number 2. That's more than enough. And no complicated control system or anything. It's just a technology called DALI Duo. You need to use your smart luminaires, which is having a DALI driver inbuilt into it, and control it by using this. So classrooms, auditorium. There are many, bigger IIMs and IITs. They all have stadiums, football stadium and the badminton stadium and tennis stadium. So that lighting is also very important to control the glare and intensity and everything, because the sports fans are created from that institutions, nowhere else. And landscape lighting, and there are monumental and facade lighting management, which could happen by using the smart and intelligent luminaire. Again, whatever we listed over here is something which we have already implemented. So that is the level of confidence while we give you this awareness of this can happen in this project, this can happen in this project, if you are a designer, if you are a reseller, or if you are an architect or consultant. Now, hospitals, another case study. You can make hygiene switching. It means if you are getting into a hospital washroom, you just get in and then come out, the lights will be automatically on and the light will be automatically off, which is called hygiene switching. There are in ICU rooms, there are biological effective lighting. I still remember when we did a project in Bangalore, it's a dermatology clinic. The entire clinic is human-centric lighting. Human-centric lighting, because the doctor gave a testimony saying that, we treat a lot of celebrities over here, and the dermatology treatment is face by face. In between two treatment, there are waiting period. We want to make the comfort level of this users, so-called patients. And so the entire hospital, they made a human-centric lighting. And what is human-centric lighting? From morning to evening, the light is behaving like a sun. This can happen through intelligent and smart luminaires. Consulting room lighting management, where you can reduce and up and down the intensity and color if you are looking at the skin, or if you are looking closely at the eyes, wherever. So the lighting plays a big role in consulting room. Meeting room lighting management. Waiting area, if you look at a hospital, waiting area is the most critical area. Patients may not be knowing everything, but the visitors who is sitting over there, they are really feeling sad on the patient lying on the bed. So to keep them comfort, to keep them in a better ambience of life, that lighting management at the waiting area is very, very much matter. And just imagine if you are a designer, or if you are a buyer or user, you're simply putting a low cost, because L1 low cost panel light, which is always flickering or which is half glowing. And what will be the mood of that visitor or relative sitting outside that patient's room? It can make a lot of difference. Probably he may not come back, if at all. So he don't feel like, this is an area where I should be. Now, outdoor lighting management, fire escape lighting, which we rightly mentioned. Every hospital passage should have one fire escape lighting, because there are emergency lighting connected to the inverter, but the inverter is somewhere else. When the fire catch up, that is what happened in many of the fire cases. When the fire catches, the inverter wire also get disconnected. So you need to have something inbuilt into the fixture, so that the fixture can behave by self. All right. So showrooms, the same thing. You can have lighting management, dimming, and everything. Smart city, I'm just taking it a bit fast to save your time. Smart cities, schedule control and centralized control and monitoring. This all can happen through the intelligent and smart lighting. And finally, our home. So wherever we are, finally we have to come back to our home to take some rest and have some conversations with our family members. So at home, mood lighting matters a lot. What is mood lighting? You should be able to create scenarios based on the situations. It could be a romantic mode, or it could be you're watching TV, or it could be you're sitting at your bar counter, or wherever. So the home is meant for mood lighting. It could be a bedroom, it could be a living room, it could be anything. So there are intelligent and smart options. Even at a Great White, we do have a separate division for home automation thing. So the home automation group is dealing in smart switches. Just by pressing one smart switch, you can have a scenario. Not only lighting, their solutions include, blind management, AV, and, HVAC. It's something like that. You come back from office, you sit peacefully on the sofa, and, take your mobile, or maybe go to that button and press one, a certain scene. What is that scene? Curtain close, light at a very warm, dim, and channel number 324, you are going to watch India-Pakistan match, Star Sports, and AC is at 22. Wow. So that's called a mood feeling, or this is what Great Wide Home Automation division does. So it's not only lighting, it's other part also which is covered in this smart switch system. So there are a lot of benefits if you are getting into smart and intelligent luminaires. Finally, I would like to mention the most important part of this business and this trending business, how we make the smart and intelligent luminaires. We make smart and intelligent luminaires in such a way, the efficient design is anyway there, considering all the components, driver, optics, and heat sink and light engine, everything that's there, efficient. All the luminaires, all the smart and intelligent luminaires are by default efficient, no doubt about it. But how we make intelligent and smart luminaires is, the luminaire should be at least a dimmable luminaire to make it smart and intelligent. So it should have a dimmable driver. The luminaire will be same, light engine will be same, body will be same, optics will be same, but the luminaire driver will be a dimmable driver, so that by controlling it, we can dim down and bright down. And if you're going for scenarios like mood lighting or human-centric lighting or tunable white or any such emotional effective lighting or biological effective lighting, it should not be only dimmable, it should be tunable also. I'm not talking about the specialty lighting like, your RGBW lighting, facade lighting, your spa, your club and all, a lot of dancing lights in colors and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the general lighting, which is used for certain illumination and wellness and productivity. So it should be a dimmable light and it should be a tunable light. And how you can make a dimmable and tunable light? A normal luminaire you can make as a dimmable and tunable. So first, let's talk about the dimmable driver. So there are many protocols available in dimmable driver. If you look at a dimmable driver, for example, a dimmable driver of this type, so it is having line and neutral coming in, okay, line and neutral coming in here, line, neutral and there, and it's having 2 wire plus and minus going to the LED. And other than that, there are 2 more wire where a dimming control is given from a controller or a potentiometer or anything. So you have a dimmable 1 to 10 volt driver, which is mainly used for industrial and highway like products. Triac dimmable driver works on the phase cut model, leading edge and trailing edge. It normally operates on the line itself. So there are a lot of limitations in terms of dimming and flickering when it comes to the lower dimming level. It's a very traditional and old way of dimming, but still people use that triac for home dimming and home light dimming and all, because it is a low cost solution. But the next stage has come up is 1 to 10, and it doesn't stop there. Today, whatever smart lighting, the major smart lighting products are made with the DALI 2 drivers. DALI 2 drivers are something which is very, very advanced in terms of smooth dimming, and there are a lot of other features in DALI 2 drivers. So like what we are using, Sunricher, one of the leading global manufacturers of LED drivers, comes with a lot of lauded features where your smart lighting and intelligent lighting can perform like anything. It's nothing but a computer-like performance. Okay, and power over Ethernet is the another driver technology which has come up these days. So we are talking about how we are making a normal luminaire, normal efficient luminaire into a smart and intelligent luminaire. First thing, it should have a dimmable driver. And if you are working on human-centric, tunable or mood lighting, it should have a tunable driver also. And it's not 2 driver. 1 driver can take care of dimming and tuning, because there is in DALI 2, there are 2 terminology which is being used. One is DT6, DALI type 6, which is only dimmable driver. DT8, DALI type 8, which can do dimming as well as color tuning. So the tunable white thing. So it should be like that. And if you want to make an intelligent luminaire, like what I've shown before, the high bay, you might have seen, a sensor inbuilt into it. This type of sensor inbuilt into it. What does that mean? So you can have inbuilt sensors for all your fixtures to make it intelligent. What happens is these sensors will take care of occupancy and switch on and off. That is one way of performing it. This take care of daylight and dim it because it's having a dimmable driver also. And DALI D4i is the latest thing which has come up with the drivers with the inbuilt power supply, DALI power supply, so that you can take it up wirelessly through the aux power communications and all these things. I'm not getting into that technical thing because this slide itself is a 40 minutes session. I don't want to get into that because it's today we have a mixed crowd of few hundred pupils. I could see almost 200 people are there. So it's really good in terms of making intelligent and smart luminaires if you are controlling the driver and inbuilt sensor part. Here we go. So there is a paradigm shift. So we are ending the last few, nearing the last few slides of the session. So there are dimmable drivers, DALI dimmable drivers, which could convert a normal luminaire into a dimmable luminaire. So you could see these type of DALI drivers. You know what this can do. This can even this is Sunricher make DALI drivers, which can go up to 0.01% dimming. Somebody was asking me, Viju, what you are going to do with 0.01% dimming? It means if it is a 40 watt luminaire, 10% dimming is 4 watt, 1% is 0.4 watt, and what is 0.01% dimming and what application it is. I was clueless, but one of the architect whom I met, he gave me the answer. He said, Viju, 0.01 driver, I would always recommend because I can create moonlight like scenarios in a home theater or any such area, so which is very much evident. So these type of DALI drivers are available as a technology thing. 0.01% dimming. There is one feature in this intelligent driver which is called CLO, constant light output. What does that mean? Even after the luminaire normally get depreciate after a few years, but this driver will automatically adjust the current in such a way that the user will always get the intended lux level of say about 500 or 550 or whatever. That's called CLO, constant light output. Not only that, 0.01% dimming, constant light output, and there is another feature called NFC, near field communication. You know what it is? Even a failed driver, you can keep your mobile on top of that, and all the settings in this driver could be copied and directly pasted on another driver just by putting the mobile over there and then paste it. All your settings are copied directly over there. My point of mentioning all this thing is technology is available. You must understand which technology is suitable for which application. That's how the smart and intelligent luminaires are being made. Now the next column, you could see a lot of sensors. We deal with hundreds of sensors of various applications. And the first one is, if you are a product designer, if you are a manufacturer, even if you are a user, you can see all these sensors are inbuilt sensor. What do you mean by inbuilt sensor? So I have many sensors lying on my table. Look at this sensor. This portion you can put inside the luminaire, the entire portion, and only this portion will come out from the PCB and it will be below the diffuser, and this will automatically take care of auto switching and auto dimming. Come on, a very small component, a very cost-effective component, adding it into your efficient luminaire, this will make a major change in power consumption. Look at this, the one of the latest thing which has come up, a dimmable driver which inbuilt with the inbuilt sensor into it. What it can do, you can simply use it with any of your luminaires, because there are two models which has come up. You can use it with any of your luminaires, 15 watt and 30 watt, and it automatically switch on and off based on the occupancy. It gives orientation lighting, which is a low level dimming if you desire, and it also take care of auto dimming throughout the hours of operations. This is another technology which has come. There are many. I don't want to get into the products in detail. And the other one is, standalone sensor, where you can make the commodity into a solution by using standalone sensors. There comes the lighting controller. So my point is, if you take a normal luminaire, use dimmable driver, it becomes a smart luminaire. or use to dimmable come tunable driver, it becomes a smart luminaire. If you put an inbuilt sensor, it could be anything. It could be like this. It could be like this. It could be even slimmer like this. If you put an inbuilt sensor into that luminaire will become, it could be like this, what you have seen, the highway. When you put this inbuilt sensor into that luminaire, it becomes intelligent. Why intelligent? Because the intelligence is already being put inside. It understands the movement of people to reduce the power consumption. If nobody is there, it reduces the power consumption. It understands the daylights coming in and reduce the power consumption. So, my dear friends, sustainability, renewable, reliability, and long-term applications, payback. If you are serious about all these things, or if your clients are serious about all these things, it makes a lot of difference when you offer this type of knowledge, or when you offer this type of intelligent and smart products to your client segment. So once you make the commodity, if you apply LED drivers and sensors and lighting controllers, it by default become a solution. And what type of solutions? I'm just running fast through the solutions. You can give switching automation for your projects. It could be office, hospital, industry, or anything. Where there is a light, you could make it as an automated switching and energy saving by giving sensors of this type, this type, or any type. And we have sensors with the masking, which is very useful for warehouse applications and office applications and all. Again, introducing this technology so that you can understand what all things can happen in an intelligent and smart project era. There comes sensors which can even control the light and ACs, and sensors which could control the outdoor lighting, which is dextrodon on switching. You can put this type of small sensors to make it intelligent. I'm talking about how you can make an intelligent luminaire. Just put this dextrodon on sensors inside your landscape luminaires or garden luminaires, and take this IP65 know about, so that when there is a darkness, the light will be automatically on, and when there is daytime, the light will be off. There are many dextrodon type sensors also available these days. Then daylight harvesting. We discussed on daylight harvesting. These type of DALI sensors automatically take care of daylight coming into the office. It could be a recess mount, flash mount, or whatever it is. It automatically dim and save a lot of energy. Highway management, we discussed. This is a latest technology which has come up, a 15-meter mounting sensors which can control multiple highways and save huge amount of energy in terms of daylight harvesting, orientation lighting, auto on off, and everything. Meeting room management, we discussed based on a single sensor. This is what we did for IAMs, institutions also. One sensor and one remote. Your entire meeting room management is done in terms of dimming and scheduling and everything. So this is another area. Human-centric lighting in terms of power over Ethernet is another area which you could see, which is trending these days. We discussed on that boardroom scenario where we talked about creating sunlight-like scenario inside the room by automation. This is another which is trending. One of the latest German innovation is this. A complete lighting management system, LMS, is incorporated in one sensor. The image what you could see over here, the architecture, system architecture, you could see over here. Multiple rooms could be managed by this sensor. No complicated gateway controller or anything. Everything is inbuilt into this. This is latest technology which is available now. You could go for mood lighting or scene controls and various things by using DALI smart luminaires, because you need a controller. We discussed smart luminaires always need a command. So these type of devices will give commands to smart luminaires and then perform the way you want. So it normally perform the way you want, any switch, this type of. And even we discussed on that home automation smart switches also, which can give a scenario, not only lighting, including everything. And we are very much into UV disinfection, which again, this is another area, technology, which you could use for disinfecting the office area or classroom We did this for IAM again, for disinfecting their classrooms and other areas. When the students come back from the recess, that gap, that recess time, we normally use UV discharge by using a sensor control. There are 2-channel UV sensors which could control general lighting as well as the UV lighting in short. So centralized control and monitoring system is something which we always do for the outdoor lighting. Fire escape lighting is something which I already mentioned. I don't want to take time. So my dear friends, it's not limited to some technologies or something which I mentioned. The fact is, the current era is of smart and intelligent luminaires. If you are a manufacturer, it's high time to get into that by using all these components and sensors and all. If you are a designer, my dear friends, most of the premium project architects and designers are working only on smart and intelligent options by using this type of DALI drivers, sensors, and making smart luminaires and all. So if you are a project seller or if you are a reseller, always remember, renovation, upgrade, and digitalization of existing facilities are still going on in a big way. Most of the corporates are working on, if you are a corporate user, my dear friends, remember, it's high time to get into an upgrade by using this type of smart and intelligent luminaire to reduce your power consumption drastically and get a payback on the money what you are investing. So sustainable, reliable, and world-class facility, whether it is your office, whether it is your hospital, whether it is your industry, whether it is your warehouse, or even home, you can make the energy saving, huge amount of energy saving and ease of operations as well. So where we stand? We stand in terms of providing intelligent luminaires for the users. We stand in terms of providing a bunch of components for the lighting OEM. We stand in terms of providing a complete solution for the users, resellers, and the project guys. So these are some of the beneficiaries who has already taken the initiatives and went into smart and intelligent solution. And what is the outcome? You can ask any of these guys, or else we can get you some testimonials from these corporates. So the corporates, like I mentioned, corporates are already working for carbon neutral initiatives. Corporates are seriously working to get into high efficiency, productivity, wellness of employees, and performance of employees. And they understand if the light is affecting the performance of my employee, it's high time for me to look at the light. If it is giving glare, it's high time for me to reduce the glare by using a diffused light. If it is giving color changing, it's affecting mood of my worker, which may in turn affect the performance of my entire planned performance. So my dear friends, it's time where all corporates started working on that. All offices started working on that. People are creating intelligent and smart luminaires for their home. And ask one question to yourself: are we doing it, or are you still stuck with that dumb luminaire? Which of course, which is one part of the life. You can't, because every technology, it takes its own sweet time to get into picture. So my point is, if you are working on a new project, if you are working on a renovation project, it's high time for you to see the application. So these are some of the corporates where we are already working, and hands off to you. I'm sure some of you are already attending in this webinar, and hats off to you because you initiated something big, either knowingly or unknowingly, which is really a benchmark for many people getting the energy saving and ease of operation through this installation. That's all from my side. Once again, thank you so much for being with us. Whatever I discussed today, this is being displayed in our upcoming LED Expo, which is happening in Delhi from 2 to 4th November. So if you are interested in practically seeing, so my table is having full of samples. I was supposed to show you whatever is relevant, but I don't think I'll be able to show everything. But you can come to Delhi. We are participating in LED Expo, which is happening from 2, 3, and 4th November. I mean, next month. You are most welcome. We are at F37. I repeat, we are at F37. I'll be there. My entire team will be there, and we'll be happy to host you. If you are a manufacturer, come and experience how to customize your dumb luminaire into smart and intelligent luminaire. If you are a reseller, come and see the solutions, how you can give awareness to your project. If you are a designer, please come and see the solution so that you can do it in your upcoming projects. If you are a user, you are the one who is really going to experience the installation in terms of proof of concept. Please join us, and we'll be happy to host you. I would request the participants, in case you have any questions, I have written my number. It's 9011840148. This is my WhatsApp number. If you have any questions, you can push that questions by giving your name and company or whatever identity. If you really want a PDF copy of this presentation, you can write to me in WhatsApp asking for it. I'll be happy to share. And if any corporate is, I know many corporates guys are there in this webinar. If you really wanted to have similar sessions for your team at your conference hall, we'll be happy to do that. Anyone is willing to have this type of assistance and support, because sharing awareness is our passion, and 100% of our business is coming through sharing awareness. And thank you so much once again.